The first moment it was presented to the public, the Gladiator started drawing a lot of attention, and even today, 4 years later, it still does that. A Wrangler-inspired styling, excellent off-road performance, and overall rugged nature are just some of the features that contribute, but the Gladiator is far from perfect and owners know that very well. That's why you should stay with us as we present you 7 things that the Jeep Gladiator owners are not thrilled about. Number 7. Ride quality. The Gladiator benefits in many ways from its Wrangler-based design. It looks cool and performs extremely well off the road, but it comes with the same issues too. And one of the first things that come to mind is ride quality. The longer wheelbase should theoretically make the ride smoother, but there are so many limiting factors that make this ride not really enjoyable. First of all, there's the rudimental suspension setup. With solid axles on both ends, it's obvious that the Gladiator tends to jump around every road imperfection you encounter. But that's all for the sake of durability. Considering the model's off-road nature, things continue to develop with the rest of the suspension setup. Simply put, the geometry is far from perfect. The dampers and other components ensure great off-road articulation, but that also means a lot of body roll on the road. The high ground clearance makes things even worse, and the fact that most versions are equipped with massive all-terrain tires doesn't help either. Finally, there's the matter of steering, which is pretty much the same as in the Wrangler. It's so loose, and the steering feels so vague that keeping the line can be very challenging at higher speeds. Some owners even find it dangerous. But not all things regarding ride quality are problematic. If there's a thing to like, that would be the brakes, which offer great stopping power, while the pedal feel is so natural. These are arguably the best brakes in the class. Number 6. Poor fuel economy. The thing no one likes about the Gladiator is the fuel economy, especially in the case of the 3.6-liter V6. With a max output of 285 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque, this engine provides pretty much an average level of performance for the class, but at a much higher cost than rival models due to the poor fuel economy. The company claims 16 mpg in the city and 23 mpg on the highway, while the version with the automatic transmission is rated at 17 mpg in the city and 22 mpg on the highway. In both cases, these are some of the worst ratings in the class, especially now when most rivals are turning to smaller Turbo 4 units. In the past few years, Jeep has been offering a more efficient alternative with the diesel engine. With 22 mpg in the city and 28 mpg on the highway, this version of the Gladiator seemed excellent on paper, especially if we consider the impressive max torque of 442 pound-feet. But Gladiators with this engine featured a much higher price. Add to this a notably higher cost of diesel fuel, and it becomes obvious why the interest in a Gladiator with an oil burner was never particularly high. Eventually, the diesel-powered Gladiator is gone, and the replacement comes in the form of a plug-in hybrid system based on a 2-liter Turbo 4 engine. But even this system doesn't promise great fuel economy, as it is expected to return around 21 mpg combined. Still, it'll give the Gladiator owners the opportunity to run on electric power for about 20 miles, along with a quite impressive max output of 375 horsepower and class-leading torque that goes all the way up to 470 pound-feet. Number 5. Small cargo bed. The Gladiator was never imagined as a utility pickup truck, but rather as an off-roader and lifestyle vehicle. So the only version offered is a crew cab model with a short bed that measures no more than 5 feet. That's enough for some basic things, but definitely not for some more demanding tasks. What's more problematic is that as a pickup that's meant to be for adventure, the Gladiator can't accommodate things like dirt bikes or ATVs, at least not without the tailgate open. The mitigating circumstance is that of the key rivals. The Chevy Colorado now also comes with a short bed only, while Ford is still unsure about offering the extended cab model in North America. But on the other hand, the class leader, the Toyota Tacoma, as well as the Nissan Frontier, both continue with a variety of configurations on offer, including a couple of models with 6-foot cargo beds. Number 4. Limited passenger space. One of the few things that Jeep dealers like to point out is the Gladiator's passenger-friendly layout. Thanks to the crew cab design, this pickup would theoretically have to accommodate adults in both rows with ease, but things are a little bit different in reality. Namely, the cabin isn't all that spacious, at least not from the perspective of rear passengers. The exact amount of backseat legroom largely depends on the size of the driver and front passenger. In the case that they're tall and the front seats have to slide back, there'll not be much space left for the rear passengers. Still, the cabin's super boxy layout ensures plenty of shoulder and headroom, so we don't have bigger complaints in these aspects. All in all, Jeep's pickup would use a little bit more passenger space, but we have to be fair and say that this thing doesn't annoy just Gladiator owners, as the same thing troubles most other mid-size pickups on the market. Practically the only rival with sufficient passenger space is the Honda Ridgeline, but that's a comfort-oriented unibody pickup that has limitations in many other aspects. Number 3. Annoying interior features. There are many things to like about the Gladiator's cabin. It looks rugged and offers a perfect blend of modern and retro elements. It also features one of the best infotainment systems around, which will now be updated and get a bigger screen. However, not everything is perfect. There are a few things that annoy Gladiator owners. One of them is the start-stop system, which completely forgets your setting once you turn off the truck. It engages every time you start the vehicle, which is kinda annoying because most drivers don't actually like this feature, so they need to turn it off each time they start the truck. Moreover, another problem with the system is its inconsistency. Even if you prefer the system being engaged, it doesn't work particularly well because there are many cases where it refuses to turn off the engine, like in case the climate control or some other electric accessory is on. Another interior feature that annoys many Gladiator owners is the forward collision warning system. Simply put, it's overreacting and involves way too much, and that can sometimes be frustrating. Jeep really needs to recalibrate the system. Finally, many owners are not thrilled about the fact that there is no trailer brake controller. Although primarily an off-roader, this is still a pickup truck, so towing is one of its main jobs. Moreover, this pickup features some of the highest towing ratings in the class, so it feels a little bit strange that Jeep decided not to offer it. Of course, there's always the option to install an aftermarket unit, but Jeep could have at least offered it as an option. Number 2. Cabin noise. The level of noise inside the Gladiator is arguably one of the biggest issues of this pickup. High ground clearance, pathetic drag coefficient, and massive all-terrain tires are just some of the reasons why this is one of the loudest cabins in its class, with an impressive amount of wind, road, and all other kinds of noise that start the moment you reach open road speed. Then it becomes almost impossible to talk on the phone or with other passengers. Hopefully, this issue will be solved at least partially after the upcoming refresh, because Jeep will install a new active noise cancellation system with upgrades like thicker glass, carpeting, and sound-deadening foam-filled cavities. According to the manufacturer, that should make the cabin up to 50% quieter, but we'll find out the real results of this upgrade once we get a chance to try the new model. Number 1. Price. Finally, there's the matter of price. The Gladiator may feature unique styling, superior off-road performance, and a few more advantages over the competition, but does that justify the price? We're not sure. Namely, the Gladiator starts way over $40,000 and could easily go up to $60,000 for the range-topping models. If you were ever looking for a new pickup, you know that's a pretty high price tag. The competition usually starts at slightly under or slightly above $30,000, and yes, we could argue about things like standard four-wheel drive and various off-road features. That definitely justifies part of the price, but on the other hand, let's not neglect the Gladiator's outdated engine with mediocre performance and poor fuel economy, as well as a pretty basic standard equipment. That definitely isn't something you would expect from a 40K pickup. After all, the Gladiator has gone deep into full-size pickup territory, and models like the Silverado, Ram 1500, and F-150 are actually cheaper, at least when we talk about the most basic variants. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.